Well, here we go. Game 3, the final divisional game of these this 1979 playoff tournament. Montreal Expos visiting the Pittsburgh Pirates. Starting for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bert Blyleven. And starting for the Expos will be Steve Rogers. So the Expos are up first. Let's lead it off. Rodney Scott against Blyleven. 6-5. That worked. All right, 6-5. Fly ball to center. Out number 1. And I keep leaving a card down there. The Hawk, Andre Dawson, center field. 6-10. That's a strikeout. 2 down. Brings us to Larry Parrish of the Expos. Third baseman for 9. Fly ball to right. Out number 3. Brings us to the bottom of the first. Omar Moreno leading off for the Pirates. Winner of this game takes on the Astros in the National League Championship Series. 3-9, and Moreno is on with a walk. And they're going to hold him with Carter. Carter is a 1. Yeah, so that's going to take -4 off his stealing. So takes him to a 1-13. He's going to go for it. Nah, not happening. Carter throws him out. This be X2-4 because I know Madlock is a right-handed batter. Had to make something happen early. Didn't work. Madlock, Mad Dog. 4-7. A single off Steve Rogers' card. Sure would have been nice to have Omar Moreno on third base. 1 away. Dave Parker comes to the plate. And that'll be 3-5. 11. Parker lifts it. Pirates get started early. 2-run home run scores Madlock, scores Parker. 1 away, bottom of the first. Pirates up by 2. And it's that guy, Willie Stargell. Come here. 5-12, ground ball back to the box. Rogers gets it over to Perez, no problem. Out number 2. Scrap iron, old Phil Garner. 4-8. Misses a skinny single. Line out to first, ends the inning. But not before the Pirates plate 2 to take a 2-0 lead early. So that'll bring up Ellis Valentine, right fielder, facing Bert Blyleven. That is a 5-7. And Blyleven catches Valentine looking at the corner. Strikeout. Out number 1. Gary Carter, who threw out Omar Moreno to leadoff batter in the last inning. 2-6, and he draws a walk, so Carter is on base with a base on balls. Gets the pass from Blyleven. He's not fast, he's not a stealer, so nothing going on there. Cromartie. And that'll be 6-8. Ground ball, second base X. That'll be Garner at a 3, fielding at a 3, looking for a 13. And out. Runners advance a base. So Garner gets it over to Stargell. Had a hard time getting a hold of it. Carter was able to make second base, so they went for the sure out. And that's going to bring up first baseman Tony Perez. 2-4. Ground ball back to the box for out number 3. Blyleven over to Stargell, and that puts an end to that. Going to the bottom of the second inning. So left fielder Bill Robinson is up at the plate facing Steve Rogers. No outs. Bottom of the second, 5-8. And Bill Robinson swings at the high cheese. Rogers gets his first K of the game. That's 1 away. Here comes Ed Ott, catcher for the Pirates. Rogers pitch, 1-5. And that is a single. Ott loops it right over Chris Spire's head at short. into shallow center field. Dawson brings it in. So that is going to be one man on. Tim Foley facing Rogers. 4-7. That's a single for Rogers. Advances Ott to second. Ott rounds second. Throw comes into Rodney Scott. He trots back to the base. So we have one away, men at first and second. And here comes Bert Blyleven. Infield is in. Nope. Nope. Infield's not in. 1-10. Goes down swinging for out number 2. I didn't write him on a scorecard. Pardon the interruption. Blyleven goes down swinging. Rogers' second strikeout of the game of the inning brings up Omar Moreno. Pardon. Homered in the first game of the series. 2-9 and catches a fat base clearing triple split. 2 RBIs. Ed Ott scores. Tim Foley scores. And with 2 outs, Steve Rogers is standing on the mound. He's a lonely man at the moment. Scores 4-0 Pittsburgh. So Bill Madlock comes up. Omar Moreno in scoring position, 90 feet away. 3-8 and misses the fat single split. Lines to second to mercifully end the inning. Rodney Scott just on a bead gets there and snags it. So that's 2 more runs for the Pirates. So we go to the top of the third, 4-0 Pittsburgh. And that'll bring up shortstop Chris Spire to lead things off for the Expos. Can't see it. 5-6 off Blyleven's card, and he leads off with a single. So Spire gets on base. And that brings up Steve Rogers. Infield is in. No, not that it matters. It doesn't matter in basic. Infield's not in. Rogers is going to bump. 8. Batter thrown out by first baseman. Rogers is out. Blyleven covering the throw from Stargell. And that's going to move Spire to second. So Spire's on second base in scoring position. 1 out. Rodney Scott comes to the plate. Sorry about getting my rules mixed up there, guys. 4-8 and misses the homer. Rodney Scott hits a double. That brings Spire in for the Expos' first run of the game. RBI double for Rodney Scott. Spire crosses the plate. Throw comes into Garner. Walks it over to Blyleven. They have a little conversation on the mound there. And Andre Dawson taking some warm-up swings. He's ready. Here comes the pitch from Blyleven. The Hawk, 4-6, goes down swinging. That is out number 2, leaving Scott still standing on second base. Really wanting to make something happen here. Doesn't want to let this opportunity go by. Larry Parrish is a good man to take advantage of it. 307 in 1979, 30 homers. Facing Blyleven, 6-7, and draws a walk. So 2 men down, 2 men on. 3-run lead. Alice Valentine comes up to the plate. Takes a couple of powerful swings, looking Blyleven down. Here's the windup. 5-4, ground to short X. Foley is a 3, yes. And fielding in a 3, looking for a 5, and that is out number 3. Tim Foley comes through with a clutch defensive play over to Stargell. But the Expos played a run, so it's only a 3-run differential. Of the third, and Steve Rogers is going to face the heart of the Pirates order. Parker, Stargell, Garner. So here comes Dave Parker. Cobra. 6-6. Fly ball to center field for out number 1. Out number 1. Andre Dawson just tracks that one down, camps underneath it, and just waits for the ball to fall into the glove. Willie Stargell comes up facing Rogers. 3-7. Catches the single split, 1-17, so Stargell is on base safely. His 7th hit of the series. 3 singles, 2 doubles, 2 homers, most of that coming in Game 1. Phil Garner, Stargell on first, 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Here comes Rogers' pitch for 7, and Garner gets a single. Advances Stargell around to second. Willie Stargell gets a second. Doesn't go any further. He knows he's not going to make it any further. Doesn't have to. So with 1 out, men at first and second, Bill Robinson comes to the plate for the Pirates. 6-8, and that is a fly ball to deep center field. Andre Dawson is underneath it. He brings it in. Relays it back into the infield, into the glove of Chris Spire. Tosses it into Rogers. So with 2 outs, Ed Ott, catcher, comes up for the Pirates. Stargell and Garner, second and first. 1-12, pops out behind first base. Perez backs up and he bags it. Out number 3. Rogers gets out of a kind of a jam there, bottom of the 3rd. Which brings us to the 4th inning. Leadoff batter for the Expos in this inning, Gary Carter, catcher. Blyleven's pitch, 6-6. And it's a low split. Lines out to short. Foley snares it. No problem. Back over to Blyleven. That is out number 1. That'll bring up left fielder Warren Cromartie. Pitch from Blyleven, 4-6, and Cromartie goes down swinging. That's second out of the inning. Ott throws it back out to Blyleven. Blyleven pounds his glove a couple of times, spinning around, walking around the mound, comes back to face Tony Perez. 1-7, and Perez hits a smack shot at Bill Madlock. He bobbles it a little bit, gets it up over to Stargell, and that's out number 3. Almost beat that one out. But Madlock, he got his glove on it, made it happen. So here we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Pirates, Tim Foley, shortstop, leading off against Steve Rogers. 5-8, and Foley goes down swinging. At the 1-2 pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner, and he goes after it. So Steve Rogers now coming up against his nemesis Bert Blyleven at the plate. 6-6, and Blyleven hits a blooper into center field. Andre Dawson underneath it, bags it easily for out number 2, and I'm writing those in the wrong part of the score sheet. So let me erase those. I've already written in those. Pause for station identification. This game is brought to you by the Strat-o-matic Network. That's right, strat-o-matic.com, the maker of fine tabletop sports games the world over. Alright, back to Omar Moreno, 2 down, leadoff batter in the order, facing Steve Rogers. Bottom of the 4th, 5-5, fly ball to deep right field. Ellis Valentine is back to the warning track. It's looking, nope, Valentine catches it in front of the wall for out number 3. So after 4 innings, it's Pittsburgh 4, Montreal 1. So top of the 5th, Expos looking to make something happen. They don't want to go home yet. Chris Spire, shortstop. 2-7, and he hits a hard chopper at Foley, fields it easily over to Willie Stargell. That's out number 1. Spire runs it through the base. Curls back around to the first base dugout on the right side of the field. And Steve Rogers comes out to the plate, facing Blyleven. That's 6-6, and Rogers gets the fat split on the bottom, hits a sharp wrap right at Tim Foley, where he stands. Foley puts his glove up, bags it for out number 2. And that will bring up the top of the order, second baseman Rodney Scott, facing Blyleven, top of the 5th. 5-9, ground to short. That's going to be Foley fielding at a 3, looking for a 6. And he grabs that one and over to Stargell for out number 3. So Tim Foley single-handedly setting down the Expos in the top of the 5th inning. Which brings us to the home team. Listen to that crowd roar. We are family. I got all my sisters and me. If you grew up in Pittsburgh, you knew it. Bill Madlock facing Rogers. 2-5 single for Bill Madlock. So he is on first base. Hits it right over Tony Perez's head into right field. Ellis relays it into Scott. Dave Parker comes up afterwards. Madlock with a little bit of a lead, not much. Rogers pitch, 2-11 on Parker. Ground ball hit hard at Scott. Over to Spire, covering second, back over to Perez. And that is a double play. Parker doubles up on Madlock. So that is a 4-6-3. And with 2 down, Steve Rogers will be facing Wilver Dornell Stargell, number 8. First baseman, Pops. 4-6 off Rogers' card. Pops hits a towering fly ball over Spire's head into shallow left field. He backs up, and Spire brings it in. Out number 3 after 5. Pirates 4, Expos 1. Hope you guys enjoy the play-by-play. I thought I really needed to try to work some of that in there, and so far it seems to be doing good. So top of the 6th, the Hawk is up. Andre Dawson facing Bert Blyleven. He's a tongue twister, can't help it. 5-3, back to the box. Blyleven fields at a 2, looking for a 14, and then is out number 1 over to Stargell. Fielded it very well, got it over there, beat Dawson to the bag by about 2 or 3 steps. And here we go, Larry Parrish, third baseman, trots out to the plate. Facing Blyleven, 1 away, top of the 6th. 6-6 off Blyleven's card, and he catches the single on top. Smacks it right up the gap. Marino brings it in to Phil Garner, but that is a single, and Parrish is on base. 1 out, top of the 6th. Ellis Valentine, right fielder, comes to the plate. Parrish taking a short lead. He's not a threat to steal. Blyleven's pitch. 5-8, and Ellis Valentine goes down swinging at knee cheese. Second time Blyleven's caught him going this game. Gary Carter, catcher, 2 outs. Needs to get something going here. Can't let this go by. Larry Parrish on first. Blyleven's pitch, 6-8, ground to second. Garner is a fielding at a 3 with a 10, and he boots it off his glove into shallow right. With Dave Parker, he was covering in pretty good on that one. So no one advances further than the 1 base. Call that E4. Call that Parrish goes to second. Call that Garner gets a little E next to his name. Oh no! Just like Tim Foley and Dave Parker in this series. 2 outs. 2 on. Warren Cromartie at the plate facing Blyleven. 6-4, and Cromartie hits a long one to left field. Bill Robinson camps underneath it near the foul line, and he bags it for out number 3. So the Expos let an opportunity slip by in the later innings. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Pirates just looking to maintain this lead, not let the Expos catch up, make no mistakes, just play a good baseball game from here on out. Phil Garner, 5th in the order, leading off. Pitch from Rogers, 1-6, and Garner loops a single over Perez's head. And that is fielded by Valentine, brought back into the infield, but that's Garner's second hit of the game, second hit in a row. Stands on first base. Bill Robinson comes to the plate, left fielder, facing Rogers. 5-6, and he catches a 2-star double, sends Garner around second base. He's headed for third. Here comes the throw in from Warren Cromartie in left field, and he is safe. Slides in underneath the tag. So Bill Robinson with the double knocks Garner around, no outs, 2 men in scoring position. And Steve Rogers is having an eye kept on him. There's a couple of pitchers up in the bullpen. Let's see what happens here. Ed Ott Not going to get double plays out of it. The infield is being brought in. Ed Ott, 6-9. Pop out the second. High towering fly ball. Garner gets underneath it. And I'm writing those in the... No, I'm doing it right. Never mind. Geez, Garner doesn't. Scott does. Okay. Momentary lapse of holy wow. So that is out number 1. Garner and Robinson in scoring position. Here comes shortstop Tim Foley. Pirates would like to get more runs, but they are at the bottom of the order. 1-8, and there is a base clearing double for Tim Foley. 2 more runs cross the plate. Garner scores. Robinson scores. Man on second, 1 out. And it looks to me like the Expos are getting ready to go to the bullpen. Rudy May comes into the game for Montreal, and he's facing Bert Blyleven. 1 out. Foley at second. Blyleven is swinging away, 6-5. Hits a blooper to center field. Shallow center field. Dawson underneath it for out number 2. Tim Foley stands in his place on second. Brings up Omar Moreno. 2-10, and Moreno gets a double, and that brings Foley around to score. Another run for the Pirates. I don't think the Pirates are going to be going home. I think they're going to be proceeding in the playoffs here. Bill Madlock comes on. 2 down, 3 runs across. Moreno is second. 4-5, and Madlock goes down swinging. 3 more runs, bottom of the 6th, 7-1, Pittsburgh. Up first baseman, Tony Perez, facing Blyleven, top of the 7th. 5-5, hard grounder at Garner, gets it over to Stargell for out number 1. Blyleven pitching a really keen game today. Chris Spire, shortstop, comes up. 1-7, pops up behind third base. Foley gets called off. Madlock takes it. So that's 2 away, and we're going to have a new batter. And the Expos call on Rusty Staub. He comes out of the dugout, bangs his cleats a couple of times. 2 outs, nobody on, facing down Bert Blyleven. 2-6, and Rusty Staub goes down swinging. So that's going to take us to the bottom of the 7th, and you know what that means. Scott Sanderson comes out, and he's going to pitch in relief. Bottom of the 7th. At the old ball game, Dave Parker. 3-9, leads off with a single. Willie Stargell against Scott Sanderson. 3-8, a single. And Parker is rounding second. He's being waved on. He's hauling for third, and he makes it in safely. So men at the corners, no outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. The Pirates are really dominating offensively in this game. Phil Garner, 1-7 single. RBI. Stargell goes to second. That's enough to bring Dave Parker in to score, and that's another run for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th. And at first and second, Bill Robinson, no outs. 5-8 off Sanderson's card, and Robinson goes down swinging. Strike 3 on the 2-2 pitch, low and inside. Was expecting a barn burner, but he got a little change up. So Ed Ott with 1 away. Men on first and second. Sanderson's pitch. 6-7, and he gets Ott looking high and outside. So that is out number 2. Brings up shortstop Tim Foley. Sanderson looking to get out of a jam here. And come here. 1-9 pops up behind Rodney Scott. Cruises back a little bit close to the outfield, and he hauls it in. That's out number 3, but not before the Pirates put one more nail in the coffin. After 7, Pittsburgh Pirates 8, Montreal Expos 1. Top of the order for the Spos, Bert Blyleven staying in there. Rodney Scott. 6-7 off Blyleven's card, and he draws a walk to lead things off top of the 8th. He's being held, and he's saying, "The heck with you, I'm going to second." And he makes it. So Dawson with a man on second, facing Blyleven. 3-6, and that's a single. No stars. Rodney Scott is rounding third base, heading for home. Here comes the throw from Dave Parker from deep right field, and he just makes it underneath Ott's tag. That is a run scored for the Expos. RBI single for Andre Dawson. Stands at first base, and the Expos get another run on the board. No men down. Man on first, Larry Parrish. 4-9. Deep fly ball. Dave Parker nestles underneath it. He brings it in. And that is a fly ball C. Runners hold. Not that deep, especially with Parker's arm. So out number 1. That's going to bring up a right fielder, Ellis Valentine. Expos would really like to get some more runs on the board. 3-12 goes down swinging for the 3rd time in this game. 2 down, run scored, man on first. Gary Carter, catcher, comes to the plate. Bert Blyleven. 5-3 ground ball back to the box. Blyleven is fielding as a 2 with a 20, and roll it again. 6 out. Flips it over to Stargell, no problem at all. Out number 3, Expos plate one more run, but they're running out of time. 8-2 Pittsburgh. That's Anderson facing his nemesis, Bert Blyleven. And move that out of the way a little bit. And there is 3-9. Ground ball hit hard at Parrish. Gets it over to Perez for out number 1. Brings up Omar Marino. It'll be his 5th at bat of the game. He 4th at bat, 5th plate appearance. He tripled his 2nd time up with 2 RBIs and an RBI double his last at bat. That is 5-7 off Sanderson's card, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2. Bill Madlock facing Sanderson. And that is a 1-6. Pops up behind second. Rodney Scott has no problem racing back underneath it. He puts the mitt around the ball for out number 3. We go to the top of the 9th inning. I just skipped the top of the 9th. First batter, Warren Cromartie, hit to right field for out number 1. Then Tony Perez looped a single, so he's on first. And then Chris Spire flew out to right field for out number 2. And that's going to bring up a change in the batting order. Play-by-play going to, it stinks. 2 outs. Top of the 9th, Dave Cash, do or die. 2-8. Grounds to third. Madlock over to Stargell. Out number 3. End of the inning. End of the game. And your Pittsburgh